Welcome to the Epic Dad Show. This is your host, Fraser Cameron, the resident New Zealander here in France. And I want to talk to you today about my purpose, about my why, and about the vision that I am trying to create in the world. Actually, I'll rephrase that I am creating in the world. I think that there's a lot of power in the language that we use and the words that we use. So look, 6 or 7 years ago, I was really struggling. From the outside looking in, most people would say, oh, Fraser was hugely successful. He's got everything, right? I had a very well-paid job, prestigious job, lovely wife, 2 kids, second child had just been born. I was a little bit chunky, we shall say. I wasn't in the best shape of my life, but I certainly wasn't out of shape. But I was really quite miserable. And the reason for it is because I would often sit at work and go, what is this all for? Why am I doing this? You know, what is it that I'm trying to achieve? And then someone asked me, what do you want people to say at your funeral? And as macabre as it is as a question, it's a fantastic one because it makes you think about what you want to be remembered for. Or actually from a less egotistical perspective, what impact do you want to make regardless of who gets credit for it? Right? What change do you want to see in the world? So I then went on a crusade to determine my why, to define my purpose. And I thought it would be incredibly easy, but it certainly wasn't. It was quite a challenge. So I started with Simon Sinek's Start With The Why course, which was fantastic. My wife and I went through it at the same time. And that really was the catalyst for getting clear on my purpose. Combining that with some work with a coach, and I really, really drilled down to the specifics of my purpose. Now, my purpose, my why, is a world where people challenge conventional wisdom and the status quo and go beyond what they thought possible. Now, this particular purpose, and this is, I feel this is very, very important, relates to all aspects of my life, work, home, and play. Now, it's obvious in work because I help dads to create time, choice, and opportunity so they can go beyond what they thought possible and break with conventional wisdom. So that's an obvious one. But I also let this infiltrate home life in terms of how I engage with my family and friends, of how I push myself on that front and inspire and motivate and help others do the same. And from a play perspective, it's what motivated me to get back into my sport, the sport that I hadn't really taken seriously since my late teenage years. And it made me realize that I can break down people's perceptions of what's possible in your early 40s. I can break down those limited beliefs that I had and that other people had around when you get older, you get slower and you can't do these sort of sports anymore. Just so for those of you who don't know, track and field, or more specifically sprinting, is my sport. So once that purpose became really clear to me, it was amazing how much focus it gave me. And the change that happened almost instantly, it was literally overnight, was phenomenal. The clarity of thought and of feeling and clarity of desired outcome inspired and prompted immediate action. It prompted me to change what I did for work. And that's not always necessary. Sometimes it's just relating your purpose to what you do for work. But for me, it definitely required a significant change. It changed the way that I interacted with my wife and kids. And it certainly changed my perception of health and well-being and what I wanted to do on that front. So I think for me, it was completely game-changing for myself, but also on the impact that I can make on others. Now, I'm sure in my previous job that I was making an impact, although at times I struggled to see how, but this just feels so much more right for me. It feels as though I'm answering my true calling, and that nagging thought that was there for 35, 36 years about there being something more out there for me has disappeared, right? I'm still pushing for more. I'm still trying to create more. I'm still wanting to make more impact. But the nagging thought that I've left something on the table has completely disappeared. And that is so freeing. The sense of freedom and fulfillment banishing that nagging thought created was phenomenal. And I know I'm using lots of superlatives here, but they are really apt, because suddenly having a clear direction, suddenly having that personal compass helping me with daily decisions, helping me with bigger decisions. It really meant that I was so much more focused, so much more targeted in my actions. And it created time, choice, and opportunity immediately. And that really is quite special. So for those of you out there who do struggle around the purpose thing, who do have that nagging thought that there's something more out there for them, I really strongly urge you to do something about it, and do something about it now, because the impact is immediate. The sense of freedom and fulfillment is immediate. And the sense of achievement when you start putting those things into practice is phenomenal. So on that front, if you're really interested and you're serious about getting clear on your purpose, please come and join the Epic Dads community. Right? Link is on my website or in the show notes, or just reach out and ask, because that's certainly something we're delving into at the moment. April is Purpose Month, so we're getting really clear on that and working through how you combine that with your superpowers to generate huge value and so on. But there's lots of other ways that you can do it. You can engage a coach, you can talk to a mentor about it, there's online programs you can do about it. Obviously, I recommend the 3-month Epic Dads Accelerator, my one-to-one coaching program, and I've got some online programs about that as well. But there's other options out there that I firmly and strongly push you to go and explore, because it really does change things instantly, right? And it's the most instantaneous change I've ever experienced. So I want you to know that it didn't just come to me by luck, and I haven't always had it. It was something that has come in the last 5 or 6 years, 7 years for me. But I did proactively take steps to discover it, because it's there, right? And yours is there too. The challenge is stripping away the limits and barriers and drilling down and discovering it, because it's within you right now, as is your greatness and your superpowers and your value. But it's just about discovering it. And more often than not, that essentially means getting out of your own way. But my challenge to you for April is to end April with a crystal clear purpose. If you do that, the rest of the year is going to be truly epic. Get clear on your purpose, know where you're heading, create impact, and do it right now. Can't wait to talk to you again soon. Until then, be truly epic.